Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to LEGO MARVEL Superheroes. So, what we need to do is get the score times 2 extra red brick, which is the first level, I believe. If we go through the collector's room, which we found here, this is the room of the collector, but the character of the collector does not seem to be anywhere around. So if we free play the first level that we've already done, we should be able to get to this, which would be struck off the list. So that is correct. We might as well play this in free play and just try to get everything, which I guess this screen doesn't automatically jump you to the level. Interesting. So instead we have to go to space from this point, and I assume it just saves at this point too. There's no reason to end up doing this 3 different times if we can avoid it, but then there are also some DLC levels that we have not done at all, even once in story mode. So well, we're gonna pretty much try and keep this split in such a way, like, so I kind of feel like I should just try and do them all, even though I don't have the mini kit detector and that, but really I should just do the red bricks. So red bricks and Thor in free play, and then it gives you a collection of other characters you would need, I assume, unless this game is particularly glitched.
Baron Strucker's research base contains some of Hydra's most advanced weapons. It's also rumored that he and Dr. List are conducting experiments to develop superpowers in human test subjects. Speaking of
this level still does not make a lot of sense to me, and I can't skip this, so you can see there's a pretty bad engine here that is still taking forever to load certain levels. This was a just downright awful level, frankly. There's kind of no way around it. Alright, so now when you're in free play mode, you can just hit the right trigger, which, see if this guy does something. Maybe this one does something? Okay, good. So that's what we needed, is we needed Vision or somebody else to be able to hit things and break things. And Cleo, I guess, might have some vision abilities, but not seemingly enough. We need Iron Man for this section. 287. 287. So I know it's just in this general area there is a red brick. That's as much as I know. So it is possible that there's more to it than that, than what I'm doing right now. But all I want to get is a red brick and then just save and quit. We'll come back and do the free play levels later, once we have the character detectors and the mini kit detectors. Otherwise the game is just going to get more complicated. And I only have enough studs because I wasn't really trying to get a lot of studs. So I only have enough to buy score times 2. And then we need to go back to like Manhattan and purchase more on top of that. Alright, there must be something more to break back here. We have a key, which is great. What does the key go to? This opened kind of nothing. So it must have something to do with this Quicksilver section. Well, that's another mini kit. Well, let me just read the direct instructions here, otherwise I'm going to end up wandering around. It says, in Area 4, Captain American Iron Man send vision through the vent on the left of the air starting point. Use the technology panel to open the right door. It'll give you a 3-digit code. Destroy stuff to find Strucker's monocle, pick it up, and take it to the collector. You'll find him on the ledge in the upper right part of the area. So they have something different happening in this game where you have to carry items to the collector apparently to get the red bricks. So upper right section.
I really need to find a more reliable source. This Strucker fellow is quite tardy.
So here we have the collector.
And what might you be doing in a place like this? I didn't think this would be your scene.
And see, they're just still using his voice acting from the movies.
An exchange was arranged. Alas,
I think.
it seems that Baron Strucker isn't available. Should you
Boy,
manage
that
to
text
obtain
displayed
what
terribly
was
there.
arranged, I would be willing to offer you a generous trade. Most dignified. A pity Baron Strucker was
This is terrible. We haven't seen it just type out text like this anywhere else in the game that I recognized or noticed. Alright. Well, that's all we needed. So, as soon as the animation unlocks, we can exit the level, save and exit, and that's all we are interested in, because now we need to go buy the score doubler. And it might very well be a case that we, with the score doubler, running around in the open world won't actually get me as many studs as I think it would. So it might be smarter to run around through the levels with the score doubler, because when you're doing a 2D platforming level, you tend to get about 100,000 studs. So we should probably look and see how long that's going to take normally. Okay, so to turn on this multiplier though, we have to get to the helipad, and to get to the helipad we need a platform. So the thing we're looking for is blue. So I see a blue dot in this general direction, fairly far away from where you normally would be. Yeah, but there is. So you press Y on that and it bounces you all the way up to the helipad, which still doesn't really put you by the helicarrier. Still doesn't really put you where you want to be, because you would like it to land you right in the middle there so that you could go inside the building, or land you directly inside the building so that you don't have a animated loading screen that then leads to another animated loading screen. Although I guess in the long run you probably will spend less time going through all of this. Going through this because you're only going to have to show up and jump through this portal. Maybe there should have just been portals directly to the collector's location in every open world. That would have been easier. Alright, stud stumps too. So, yeah. There's kind of nothing else that we can afford. We have attract studs on now. We have score ×2. So what we should do is let's just start at the very end of this level and play in free play on the helipad. That way we know we don't have a reason to come back to the helipad ever. Let's see. For instance, we have a Captain America section here. So we just need a Captain America with his shield to hop on this. And we'll use the shield, I guess, to blow up these sections. I don't know if this is a Hydra laser that they're testing or what. So gold brick got me a bunch of studs and a bunch of studs opened in general. I don't think you need to talk to characters unless they have a circle around them. So we might be in a fine position to ignore some people. There's probably a lot of places where people being there will be a lot of people. Like, this character doesn't seem like it talks, and this is just a police woman or a shield agent, which is effectively a police woman, and you could see how that same skin could have been used in the Lego City game. Alright. Next we need Iron Man. I should probably make a special effort to buy every version of... I probably should never play as Iron Man, first of all, but I should also buy every version of Iron Man. That way you don't have characters that flip into versions that are... I thought I was gonna have to put out fires here, but it doesn't actually seem like that's the case. Seems like you just are supposed to work your way through the edge, through the laser. Nope. There we go. What opens that? Oh, there's a pole over here, hidden behind a back section, a wall section. They've done that a couple times. It's not good. It's not good game design to hide things visually. Smashing the fire didn't do anything. Okay. This looks like there might be a secret image on that screen as like an Easter egg. Okay, I think we're good. I think we did everything in these two rooms. And if we can get our stud count up to 2 million, we'll be in a good position otherwise. Let's see. Captain America can activate these, but then they change to a Hydra panel. And it feels like the Hydra panels themselves might take 2 or 3 activations to actually activate. Yeah, so apparently the Hydra person has to activate it as a shield agent with their fake shield credentials, and then they have to activate it with their Hydra credentials. See what we find in this area. It's probably just a gold brick. Okay, does he have anything that breaks that? No. But Hawkeye does. So we'll just switch over to him and blow that up. Is there something else we need to shoot here with the silver statue? Nope, it was just something you could do. I'm just gonna switch to Lister here. That way he can just walk out of the room and everybody will be magically reset. It's not really worth your time though breaking these. Not at the moment, and probably never. And we have another just shield agent. Doesn't seem like there's any collectibles in here. I doubt there are any collectibles in the collector's location. I don't think there are any. It's a very small room. So then we go to the next room.
Maybe I should just call Dr. Cho. No. I can handle this.
And so here we have a mission. Let's see what it is.
While we're all delighted that Dr. Cho's cradle technology succeeded in creating an entire being, its structure was a little compromised during the process and it requires some maintenance. I propose that we cause a disjunction between the push connectors and the dynamic core. This should culminate in the extracellular architecture suspension I'm sorry, basically what I mean is we need to turn it off and on again.
So, kind of funny gag. Turn it off, turn it on again.
Even with such cutting-edge technology as this, you can't beat the classic reboot technique.
And I guess effectively that's turning vision off and on again.
Sorry, I forgot that Dr. Cho encrypted the startup sequence. She never got around to showing me how to bypass it. But never mind, I'm sure you'll have it cracked in no time.
Right. Let's see if this guy can do that. Here we have a different mini game, which again we don't need these mini games. Even if this was like an attempt to move to more cell phone style games and they thought a touchscreen would make sense. These are incredibly basic mini games, even by LEGO standards. They feel too simple and they don't add anything. I'd prefer to just have a fast hacking red brick and enable it and not do any of these mini games. And when you have elements of the story or parts of a game that is better skipped, you know you failed.
Sorry, I'm doing it again, aren't I? Thank you.
And this is just a shield scientist, an unnamed character. And that unlocked another Iron Man character. We do have something that Feels like there's like a character token somewhere, but it's either up in here or So when we get really far away, it turns into a dot. This could be a case of there being a character token directly above this level section, or there's something I'm just totally missing. So we'll make an effort to break everything in this room, just so we know we're not missing something. Yeah, I cannot tell what is on those screens. It looks like some kind of Lego piece of something. And behind those computer panels is something. Yeah, I don't know. If it was higher up, you'd be able to fly through it. So we'll leave that, and then we'll just hope that that's not a problem. Alright. And next we'll come over here and activate this panel, which probably does something slightly interesting. Activate once, then it will turn on a control panel. Activate it a second time.
Access granted.
And it makes a second thing, alright. This control panel, left, up, down. Left, up, down. This is not a terrible minigame. It's not great. Most minigames won't ever be great, but it's short and sweet. And come on, Thor. You should be able to scan that, but apparently that's not the indication of an Avengers point. That's the indication of a scanning point. And they just seem to look exactly the same. I guess you have to go in order. For as many times as I've done these scans, it's shocking how often I'm still getting things out of order. Okay. So we'll need Bruce Banner, or the Hulk, to open that. What I'd like to find is a character that can open these green-handled walls that also doesn't then transform. I'm confused. He broke a wall and broke a door, and there was nothing behind it.
The Helicarrier's looking a bit worse than there now.
Yeah, that does not make a lot of sense. Alright, run this way. And run this way. Switch over to Hawkeye to blow up that. Yeah, I don't know what that was. By the looks of it, there isn't anything else in this room. It's quite a
It's not glamorous,
large.
but somebody's got to do it.
It's quite a large room to have nothing. Now this guy wants us to clean up blueberries,
Avengers, huh? Last
so
time he was here, he was
we'll just skip through that dialogue since I've already gone through it once. And then we're supposed to just find blueberries. And while we're looking for blueberries, I guess we will also be able to potentially break things and get studs and potentially go through the rest of the room. Let's see. Yep. Feels like there would have been more blueberries to have been found. Okay. So we have some platforming here where we need to drop on that. And then we crawl on this wire. I'm gonna try to do this legitimately for the first couple times. But yeah, there's a dismount problem, certainly, and there's things just breaking for no good reason. Alright. Let's switch over to somebody flying. Of course, if he's flying, he's not a acrobat character then. So then that requires switching back. I think Hulk is breaking things. His just default animation, I think, does put you in a weird position. Another gold brick, and with every gold brick, I think you get 100,000, do you? Nope. I was wrong about that. You don't get 100,000 for every gold brick you collect. You might get some reward for a certain number of gold bricks, but I suspect you won't even get that much. Let's see, we need Wanda, and I'm not really even sure where she is. Is this? Yeah, that's her, Scarlet Witch. They don't really call her that in the cinematic universe, but that's her official name. Okay. We'll just break a bunch of things looking for the blueberries and getting studs. But we definitely aren't moving fast towards 2 million.
They might not seem it, but blueberries are actually a pretty big security risk. One rolls into the wrong vent and boom, Helicarrier plummets into the ocean.
So, is there just a section I'm missing here? Or are there just blueberries in the rest of the overworld? It seems weird that you would start a blueberry mission and then it would take you back to...
Mentioned, but don't eat any of the blueberries you find. Might sound dumb, but I have to itemize them all before I can complete this mission. Plus, it's a bit gross.
Alright, so there are straight up just blueberries throughout the entirety of the level. hidden. And this is a great example of an instance in a video game where the switch over there is now closed again, and but this part is open, and there are blueberries all over the place, giving a lot more justification. And on a certain level, they might have made the right decision, because if this was Lego The Hobbit, you would have just been collecting blueberries the whole game, and they would have just been a second currency that nobody put any thought into. Let's see. There's gotta be some blueberries behind some of these panels. There, I see it. I'm looking for the shiny objects. I suppose ideally what you would want is the blueberries to have always been in the game, and then you would have had to walk up to them and press the B button to pick them up, and you would have only been able to pick them up if
basic adjustments could draw the required response.
you have a completely different quest. I don't want to do that yet. That's irritating, to potentially be able to leave a room and then the room change and you have a different quest, because that's then opening up a pathway of having to run through a level multiple times, and that's exactly what we're having happen here, is something to just waste players' time. It's almost as if they weren't sure they were gonna have the Manhattan open world done in time, which, okay, that would explain all these separate open worlds as extra content, because there really would be no way to connect them unless you just had magical portals, and I wouldn't have been upset if there were magical portals that would connect the different sections. Let's see. Hopefully there's a blueberry back here somewhere. But it looks like no, there isn't. Here's one on a medical bed.
Maybe you should start charging for your services.
Here's another one behind the cobweb. And that leaves one more to collect. And then we'll have to turn the mission in, which requires running back to where we started. Yeah. If the blueberries had always existed, and it was simply a case of you could only collect them once you had a mission, and you had to go up and press B to collect them, that probably would have been a better way to do it. Or if you specifically had to press B to pick up certain items. Right. Yeah, and I think I need to go turn in this quest before I can do anything else, and they're even giving me the ghost studs, which we rarely get in this game.
Anyone else bothered by how quickly they managed to rebuild the base in New Mexico? I can't even get them to spring for ratings on the Helicarrier.
Turn this in.
Let's see. If we take the average amount of blueberries in the bag, subtract the amount seen being consumed by Stark and other Avengers on the security cameras, then
I have to hit A, sorry.
this should be all of the road berries accounted for. Here, take this for a job well done.
And so now we've unlocked another character. Which, if you want to get 100% of the game, you're going to have to do everything. Which they probably, for LEGO games, should address that as an issue too, and make it closer to get 90% to get an achievement. They may very well have gotten rid of the 100% achievements, and achievements aren't great motivator factors anymore. But it feels like there should probably just be some extra collectibles, some randomly generated, randomly placed collectibles to make sure a player gets to 100% no matter what, even if they can't find that last gold brick or that last character token.
Well, let's not jump the gun. To start with, I'm not even sure what kind of weapon I would use. Though I imagine there'd be plenty lying around here. Could you perhaps fetch me some so I can perform some tests?
So the scientist wants to become a superhero. So they want us to collect weapons, which once again is going to have us running all over the place. And we're now in another instance. Yeah, it definitely does feel like you should have been able to collect those collectibles also. Ideally, all of these collectibles would be inside of something, so just breaking something like this water cooler should have a collectible appear if collectibles ever were going to appear. Stretching out the playtime of this game is not necessary nor useful. When video games are published, often my understanding is that game development companies negotiate with the publisher on certain metrics, like the amount of collectibles, the amount of playtime, things along that level. In this case, TT Games would have been a subsidiary of, well, I guess the sword would have been behind where the Hulk was, so he did need to break that wall eventually. Yeah, TT Games being a subsidiary of Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers owning DC, I mean Marvel. Wait a minute. Actually, in this case, Marvel and Warner Brothers are not connected. Warner Brothers owns DC. This is Marvel. This would be Disney. So maybe in part of licensing the Marvel characters, they agreed to make a 60-hour game with 150 collectibles because they're very consistent with that number. Whereas they could have dropped it down and sped up the process. Even without getting rid of collectibles, they could have sped up the process by having the blueberries and the weapons always available to collect. Alright, so inside the Helicarrier, according to the radar, there's only one more thing. And I don't see it. So it's either sneakily hidden, or it's up somewhere. Come on, Thor. Why is this Thor not capable of flying? Maybe you can't fly in this room. Yeah, he can't fly either. There's just a ton of stuff. But unless it started to announce numbers for things I'm hitting and breaking. Breaking all the chairs doesn't seem to potentially accomplish anything. We can use the laser beam to try and break as much as possible. But I don't see it unlocking anything. There's just way too many generic characters and items. So my only guess is that maybe... Nope, it was just hidden in the corner. Interesting. I thought that was going to be way more complicated a solution. Alright, so that's everything inside the Helicarrier. So we never need to go inside to do anything. As far as studs, we're still nowhere close to 2 million. Let's now get everything on top of the Helicarrier. That way we can... Right. I blew something up. And it started a timer. Can you repair things? Vision can't repair things. Interesting. I would think Vision would be able to repair things. Right. Right. Tap B to weld. And then we'll have to switch to Thor. To electrify. There probably is somebody that has an electric shooting ability that doesn't require the charge up like Thor. But I don't know who that would be. It's a little funny that they don't say their names or something when you get near something that they could interact with. Like, it would kind of make sense if you walked next to something and it said, I need Thor, or I need... This is a weird cutscene. Am I supposed to hold the B button? Yes. Not press it. Another gold brick. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of walking next to something and it says, I need Iron Man. Or I need Tony. But this is a job for Tony. It's weird because in most other LEGO games, a repairman would just be a guy who has a wrench. But in this case, there is no wrench, and Iron Man is the repairman, whereas the repairman usually is a extremely low-level character that really doesn't even feature in the story. Right, gotta line it up so it actually hits, and then attack that target, which the indicator on those targets that those have to be hit with reflected lasers. Doesn't fully make sense. Alright. So there's an object there. And then an object there. So I think I probably have to fly around the front of this whole thing, blowing up all of these little lasers. I probably don't have a high enough reach to catch them all. Alright. Let's see. Once again, Tony Stark, Iron Man. Hit that. Hit that. Hit that. Hit that. Hit that. Another golden brick down. We have something that indicates a gold brick is somewhere. Wow, that camera is really messed up. There's two different sides to the Helicraft. I'm a little surprised by that. Okay. And hanging down this way was a cage. So this is a different Helicraft than what we ran into in LEGO Hero, which that's to be expected. There are clearly base 3D models and level designs, and then they make changes in different iterations of the game. Is there somebody that's... This camera angle is just awful. And we're getting that metallic sound every time we hit the ground, which is a very deep thud. Hit that. Get over there. That wasn't designed well. And this way leads to this underside of the ship, which we should make a clear effort to make sure that we have looked all around this underside of the ship so that we're not needing to come back here. Just looking for any indicator of anything important. This is a skydiving section that we'll need to do later. Then we need Quicksilver. He's gonna run all around the fan. I guess deactivate the fan. or use the fan fast enough. See, I don't even know why we have Bruce Banner as a character. Seems like it's been a while, I guess. Right, so that's one more collectible. Let's see, a gold brick this direction. Which, how do we deactivate these lasers? Probably over here by controlling that character. Scarlet Witch as a character, she doesn't stand out, and you run into this problem a lot with the LEGO minifigs. Is there's only so many hairstyles that they can depict because they're trying to stay within things that LEGO actually sells, and there's only so many outfits, and so when you are just seeing the head part of a character, that becomes very easy to confuse with a different character. Let's go back to Hawkeye. Seriously, can Hawkeye not open that panel either? We're batting 1,000. Down, right, left. Down, right, left. We have another jump section, so we'll have to probably jump from the Helicarrier a few times, but that won't be too bad. And we have some race sections. We're not running into a lot of things that need to be broken, which is a little shocking. And the radar is a little different in that you can kind of see the things in Manhattan that are far to that direction, which is confusing the issue. I'm not sure if there are any collectibles left on this top part or not. Seems like there probably is just 2 races and that's it. So I guess the question, what we want to do is play as this guy, then hit B. And that's a different race start. The controls here are pretty awful. I'm trying to feather it as much as possible, and they're having us fly directly in the sun. Now they go down, you press B, but it's nowhere as it's way more sensitive than pressing A. So just a slight tap with B drops you down a lot. A single tap with A barely gets you any extra height. Alright. I don't like that these races give you an overall time when the overall time doesn't seem to matter. It doesn't seem like there's... And I guess I can't get a boost while I'm in the air, so flying as Iron Man actually wasn't a smart move. Like, because he's just an awkward control. And yeah, I imagine a shield jet fighter as a character is probably easier to control. Let's see what happens if we... You have to be on the ground, hold down Y, go through the menu. We'll see what Vision's controls feel like. Yeah, Vision feels faster. We're going the other direction, which I'm glad we're going the other direction because I wasn't 100% sure I'd started the right race. Now, in LEGO MARVEL Superheroes, I distinctly remembering that these races were badly designed and you didn't really have enough time to do them, and you did have to often get rings of studs to get boosts. They've completely eliminated any boosts. They've completely eliminated any rings of Lego studs. They've made it so that you absolutely don't have to do the race sections if you don't want to, but again, you won't get 100% if you don't do everything. So you still kind of are trapped in doing everything. I guess that's true for every game though. If you're gonna do 100% of the game, you gotta do 100% of the game. And it feels like to me the blue dot is blinking to say that we've collected everything in this area. So let's do one of these. And let's see how this works. Yeah, this is like LEGO MARVEL Superheroes. You just drop down and it puts you in a specific area and you can get studs, but there's no collectibles. And it's basically landing you in the... Wow, the game is glitching out the camera there. It's landing you exactly where you would have landed in LEGO Superheroes, LEGO MARVEL Superheroes also. And here we are in front of some skull. Take out these bad guys.
Okay. I think they finally noticed the badge and ran off. I'll admit, I had my doubts about you, but you've really stepped things up a notch lately. Keep it up.
So, what is this called? Alpha Psi University? Is there a way on the options to turn off the radar? Heads up display interface on or off? Let's turn it off. And let's see what that looks like for a second. Because every other LEGO game, you've kind of not had a radar that just showed you exactly where everything is. And I guess you could turn off the heads up display. But if you do, at that point you are missing some useful information. Not a ton, but the number of hearts you have are kind of pointless. The white circle around your character are probably the number of Avengers combos you could do. Your attack combo probably doesn't matter. But it would definitely be nicer if there was a way just to turn off the radar. Even if that was an extra that was available for purchase at the, or just unlocked by default. It really needs to be unlocked by default. Because the only thing I could imagine is they somehow would have gotten feedback from their quality assurance testers that the game was so hard kids weren't even able to find a lot of items. And I don't really believe that's the case. Vision can just scan with his mind, which makes Vision definitely the right character to play as. Although he's a better character for that. Scan his badge.
Access granted.
And scan his Hydra credentials.
Access granted.
It's pretty much hiding in plain sight to have Hydra secretly running in its operations throughout SHIELD. It'd be really ridiculous, frankly. Although I don't know if I wouldn't be surprised if there are other kinds of organizations that do similar things. Here's this skate park. I remember in LEGO Marvel Superheroes that they didn't do anything with the skate park either. It's kind of a shame that if there was a skating or skateboarding character or mini game, that would be nice.
Please, take that punk down.
Right.
Thanks. Don't tell anyone on the force about this, okay?
So that is, I think, the character, or one of the characters from the LEGO City Police Department, or LEGO City game. Let's go ahead and switch over to Quicksilver and run this race. There was a race in LEGO Marvel Superheroes that went down this path previously, so this might be the exact same race with perhaps a little bit more polish on it. Yeah, because I remember the race was glitched or something and I could not figure out where I was supposed to go next. And it took me looking up a walkthrough and many attempts before I was able to finally figure out how to win that race and get that collectible. For a moment there I thought I wasn't even gonna be able to get the collectible. Yeah, this definitely feels very similar to that race. And the races couldn't really be that different if it's going to be on the ground of the same Manhattan city. You could have them go backwards through the rings, and you could maybe move a thing to the left and a thing to the right, but at the core it's going to feel very similar. There's a lot of content here, though, that it's just going to be ignored. A lot of places where there will be Lego studs and nothing else, and I will just not choose to get on top of a building, or not choose to not choose to really take part. in any of the little mini games or the little collectibles, because if it is just going to reward you with studs, there's inevitably going to be a easier place to get studs with the score multipliers and just having a lot of things to break. Particularly, I think that the Helicraft probably has a room where you could just break a ton of stuff and get studs. And when you're doing these flying missions, you might get Coulson telling you to do some other mission, and you just fly out of the range of that, and you only hear a few words of that hint. There we go. Right now we just have a plethora of choice, and eventually we'll boil it down to having very few choices. I believe this guy is a defender. Luke Cage, yeah. Yep, this is Luke Cage, one of the Netflix characters, Marvel characters.
Some of those jumped up juniors thought they'd be heroes and ran off to chase bad guys without me. They better not be in too much trouble. My paycheck is riding on this.
You see,
Time to go round 'em up.
Luke Cage historically obsessed with money, and you see a lot of these characters in yellow. A lot of Marvel yellow costumes that don't really work.
You know Shield is just a name, right? You don't have to sit there unless you can hit you.
So
you set the terms, you can change them.
Am I supposed to do something with this shield agent, or am I just supposed to beat a group of these bad guys?
Oh, thank you. I've been bursting since we got here.
There's a blue-haired lady, and I see a gold brick way, I think, at the top of this building. And it's just so easy to distract yourself looking for gold bricks when that's not what we're doing, so I should instead focus. They are trying to give you some altitude directions. You can see there's a little arrow triangle pointing up and down. Let's see. So if something is higher up, but you only get to see the arrows if you're relatively close to where the item is anyways, and at that point you're probably so close it doesn't matter. Alright.
Stand down, peasants! I am a mighty shield agent, and you are all under arrest! It's not working! They're not standing down!
Looks like Junior's in trouble.
Now the laser beam takes too long to break anything. It blows up cars nicely, but defeating these guys is a fairly slow process.
I had the situation completely under control.
Okay. hold A. That boosts you really far.
Hold up. Criminal activity detected nearby. I guess dinner can wait.
Hmm.
Oh man, what a time to forget how to make a fist. Inwards or outwards? Ow, not outwards.
There we go.
You guys are so green, people try to take Hulk selfies with them.
Hmm.
A rent-controlled apartment. That's my goal in life.
There's a very New York statement talking about rent-controlled apartments. Although, you know what? The idea of rent-controlled apartments probably are something that more places should consider. But it really is a solution to a problem that a lot of people don't have. So I think you have to press B after you save the people, so I think I saved one of the characters and then press B to talk to him. Or, yep. There we go. So that finishes that quest. Gotta wait till Luke Cage decides to stand back where he was standing.
Everyone accounted for. Thanks for helping me out there. I guess chasing after these kids was good practice for when Danielle's a little older, huh? Here.
Danielle must be his kid. I don't know.
Don't worry. I'll be charging Shield extra for the trouble.
Luke Cage is kind of indestructible as a character. But the way the Netflix series depicted him, he was really just dealing with moral quandaries otherwise. He wasn't much of a action superhero, which might be a good thing because there's quite a lot of action superheroes already. So that's one gold brick hidden in a little sewer section. Apparently there's another gold brick somewhere down here. I don't see it. So either there's a gold brick that is under the road in that section, which is somewhat questionable, or there's an instance of some sort that has to be accounted for. It's a hassle, frankly, and I think I don't want to burn myself out, so I think I want to kind of wrap up fairly quickly here. What we're doing is we're just waiting till we can get to 2 billion, which is going to be quite a while to 2 billion. In this area in specific, East Harlem alone has, well, I don't think East Harlem, I think all of Manhattan has 140 gold bricks and 20 more vehicles to unlock and 36 more characters to unlock and 13 Stan Lee imperils to save. So yeah, we are, I think, just in a good position to end this recording, and once we do have 2 billion, we'll get studs times 4, which studs times 2 plus studs times 3 or 4, I forget which one it is. Sometimes it feels like it's 3, sometimes it feels like it's 4, depending on the LEGO game. But that'll either combine to give us a compounded studs times 6 or studs times 8, which will then make it a lot easier to specifically then run around and get the next amount of studs we would need to get the next multiplier, then to get the next multiplier, then get the next multiplier. And until we've kind of hit that point, we should just run around all of Manhattan getting these little micro games and micro challenges done. But it certainly can be draining. This is the part that I'm very well overlooked and forgot about, since it's been a decent amount of time since I last played a LEGO game. This is the part where the open world section often is very fun and desirable to play, but it's only fun and desirable to play in hour-long to 2-hour-long bursts, and then you probably need a little bit of a rest because it becomes fairly grindy and fairly repetitive. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.